Welcome to this seminar on phytosensing. This second seminar, we try to collect connect people to share experience from different groups who is working with plants, with phytosensing, different sensors, sensor technology, and of course their experience and results, so that we create a community, let's say, in the topic of phytosensing and plants. And today I would like to present our colleagues, Laurent from France, from University of Brittany. Please correct me.
It is a university of Southern Brittany.
Yeah, Southern Brittany. And we know each other already a long time. So we shared some technologies, we shared a lot of, let's say, ideas. We even wrote a proposal together, for some topic. But now, Laurent would like to share experience in regarding to plants and plant music. It seems plants are extremely sensitive, and really they work with sound for intercommunication, and we can, interact with plant by sound. And so, Laurent, you can start your presentation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Laurent Vandanjon, and I am a lecturer at the University of Southern Brittany and a researcher at the Laboratory of Marine Biotechnologies and Chemistry in Vannes. Vannes is located in western France. And today we will talk about plant intelligence. Some of the questions that we'll address in this presentation are the following. First question, what are the clues suggesting that a form or different forms of plant intelligence might exist? Second question, are there ways to demonstrate potential communication in plants? What can techniques such as electrophysiology offer in this context? And can plant language be translated into music? First of all, we need to agree on what intelligence means. Intelligence is multiple, and several definitions can be proposed. From my point of view, intelligence is the ability to receive information from the outside world, process it, make decisions, and act accordingly. To study plant intelligence, we must first avoid a major pitfall, anthropomorphism. Plants have evolved in a completely different way from animals. Plant intelligence or intelligences may take forms that are not necessarily comparable to human intelligence. Accepting that plants are intelligent would represent a major paradigm shift. But if we are mistaken, we risk rejecting science itself. We therefore need to accumulate evidence and then have it widely approved. Let's begin by discussing movements. Plants are living beings that move in their own way, even though these movements are not always perceptible on our usual time scale. However, time-lapse videos show us that plants are in constant motion, as you can see. Movement often allow responses to environmental factors. These movements can be classified in two groups: kinestic, reflexive movements, and tropic differential growth on either side of an organ. Plant sensitivity. In addition to the 5 senses found in animals, plants possess about 15 other subtle senses, such as air humidity, gravity, electromagnetic fields, position, chemical gradients, etc. This does not prove that plants are intelligent, but it does show that they are more complex than previously thought. Here is a video showing a DNA capturing an insect with its tactile hairs. And another experiment that I published on my YouTube channel showing the reaction of Mimosa pudica to music. Reaction to certain frequencies. So maybe Mimosa could be renamed Mimosa musica. Even though this is less visually apparent than in Mimosa, all the plants are sensitive to acoustic resonance frequencies. But you need laser cameras to detect movements of just a few hundred nanometers on Arabidopsis thaliana. The way that the leaves move is similar to the Chladni patterns. In the present study, my colleagues Duclos and Ballesteros have shown that the movement is the most important at a frequency of 500 Hz. Responses to stress. Depending on the type of environmental constraint, we talk about biotic stress, pathogens, animals, or abiotic stress, temperature, wind, drought, or water excess, etc. Responses include a series of biochemical and cellular reactions. For example, under water stress, tomato plants emit ultrasonic clicks due to cavitation in the xylem. What you hear is the distress call of a thirsty tomato plant. Plant communication. The release of chemical compounds into the air or water is the primary means of communication between plants. But many other methods exist, some quite surprising. Here are a few examples. Communication through sound frequencies. The buzzing of bees influences the sugar content in nectar. The sound of caterpillars causes the secretion of antibodies in leaves. The sound of water attracts plant roots, etc. And plants can also communicate through electrical signals. Here is an illustration showing action potential communication between a Venus flytrap Dionne and Mimosa pudica. You can see the potential, the action potential. and the reaction of the plants. While the mechanisms of plant communication are increasingly well described, many questions remain. The ability to make decisions is a key aspect of intelligence and hard to imagine in plants. Yet, researchers claim that plants can decide when to germinate based on electrical, chemical, or hydraulic interactions between cells. In this sense, the brain of the plant could be the entire plant itself. The famous biologist Stefano Mancuso believes this brain might reside in the roots, where signals analogous to those of animal neurons have been detected. There are many other signs supporting the hypothesis of plant intelligence. Memory, vision, biomimicry, symbiosis with bacteria, social life, etc. And we cannot cover all these aspects here, but you can find them in Zoe Schlanger's book, The Light Eaters, which I highly recommend. What is the root of misunderstanding? They can eat light. Isn't that enough for you? Said the ethnobotanist Timothy Ploman. And moreover, I can add that plants prefer certain wavelengths according to their physiological stage. Nevertheless, in the collective unconscious, plants are often placed just above inanimate objects and far behind animals. And scientists will need to make major strides for the world to accept the possibility of plant intelligence. In plants, there is no intention or intelligence in the usual sense. The word intelligence is connoted, perhaps too much so, with the idea we have of academic success. So let's go back to the etymology of the term. In Latin, interlegere means to discern, to choose. Clearly, the plants have the ability to act. They have the capacity to assess the conditions in which they find themselves and to modify themselves to adapt to them. We do the same constantly. The scientific community will continue to discover that plants are more complex than we imagined. Plants are a network, and the brain is just one way to create a network. But it's up to each of us to examine the data and draw our own conclusions. If plants have their own vegetal way of being intelligent, perhaps we should simply call it plant intelligence. To advance in this field, a new science must be developed, plant neurobiology. Although plants do not have brains or neural network, their capacities are such that it is no exaggeration to speak of distributed intelligence. Plants are capable of producing and emitting electrical signals to all the cells in their body. Let's see a caterpillar eating a leaf of the plant Arabidopsis. A wave of calcium crossing the plant revealed by fluorescent light triggers defense responses in distant leaves. These signals are quite similar to the fast synaptic electrical signals in the human brain. This corresponds to a kind of diffuse brain. So, we have seen that many signs of plant intelligence are related to electrical signals. A key method to study plant intelligence is surely to measure their electrical activity. And this is called plant electrophysiology. All living beings, including plants, generate electrical phenomena related to their vital functions. The measurement principle is similar to EEGs or ECGs in humans. These signals can be detected with electrodes placed on the surface or inside plant tissues. Electrophysiology aims to understand the origin of these signals and to attribute them a functional role. In the late 18th century, Luigi Galvani and then Alexander von Humboldt demonstrated the similarity of the bioelectric nature of animals and plants. In the late 19th century, Borden Sanderson discovered electrical signals in a carnivorous plant. In the early 20th century, confirmation by the Indian physicist Bose and discovery of action potentials, transmission of electrical messages in plants. But the concept of the plant nervous system lost popularity with the discovery of plant hormones. In the mid-20th century, Cliff Baxter conducts experiments with the polygraph to show that plants can not only react to their environment, but also communicate with other living beings. It was published in the book The Secret Life of Plants. But the experiments could not be reproduced, and it was declared pseudoscience, and it was the end of the game. In the 21st century, after the damage caused by the secret life of plants, some of today's scientists, Mancuso, Paluska, Gagliano, Adamatsky, etc., have the courage to work again on plant communication by electrical waves. Electrical signal transfer relies on two mechanisms. Firstly, plasmodesmata. There are small channels between cells for short-distance electrical communication. Secondly, vascular system, xylem and phloem for long-distance communication, similar to the animal circulatory system. This network enables the plant to circulate information quickly, facilitating a coordinated response, for example, by the opening or closing of stomata. Plant electrophysiology reveals that plants are not passive organisms. They actively communicate via sophisticated electrical signals integrated in a multimodal communication system. This new understanding opens the way to a redefinition of plant intelligence. Towards living music. To make this new science accessible and attractive to the general public, data from electrodes placed on the plant can be transformed in real time into sound frequencies using a portable electronic transduction device. This produces living music that reflects the plant's physiological state. The public can interact with the plant and observe how it reacts visibly and immediately to external stimuli. The aim is to raise awareness of the often little-known forms of plant intelligence and to raise questions about our relationship with nature. But a new field of scientific study is emerging: the music of plants and environmental parameters that would constitute an indicator of the vitality or vulnerability of the plants in their ecosystem. Music from plants is an innovative tool for science mediation and popularization. Music from plants is currently a science mediation project that is actively supported by my university. So I am invited to animate a dozen of workshops and conferences that are organized within the framework of participating science with and for society. A portable interactive device for exhibitions is currently being designed. It might look like the device in the video. All is integrated in this device. So this project is an extension of a broader interdisciplinary research program on plant biophony, integrating plant biology and biochemistry, human sciences, and artificial intelligence. Mediation offers an innovative tool for disseminating knowledge to students and the general public. Through this original approach, combining science, music, and interaction, we aim to encourage a better understanding of biological mechanisms and open a dialogue on the place of plants in our society. The MPAE project, Music of Plants and Algae in Their Ecosystems, is a transdisciplinary research project. It aims to make the biological activity of plants and algae audible using electrophysiological devices and environmental sensors in order to produce bio-inspired music. The objectives are as follows. Translate biological signals from plants, electrical activity, growth, evapotranspiration, and their environment, temperature, humidity, light, etc., into musical patterns inspired by the local territory. Explore how these musical patterns can express the vitality or vulnerability of the ecosystem. Test the effects of certain sound frequencies on plant growth in acoustic greenhouses. Listen to this example.
Après, on peut décider de... On peut tout faire en son.
It is in a greenhouse. So I continue. The objectives are to renew the links between land and sea through the music of seaweed and the fight against green tides, opening the way to a new form of human-plant communication with a view to sustainable development. And this project was submitted to the Brittany region in the framework of the Research and Society Call for Project. I just show you the video of the work that was already carried out with our partner, the Kermini farm, located in the French department of Finistère. And temperature, humidity, light, and CO2 sensors are placed in the bioacoustic greenhouse. And the data recorded are sonified and then broadcast into the greenhouse via loudspeakers. You can listen again, maybe, for the pleasure. The sound of plants in the greenhouse. So, MPAE is much more than a research project or an artistic performance. It invents new ways of inhabiting the world in a conscious, participatory way. Now, let's see some of the most common tools that we use for plant music. I use the following devices. Device U1, Neurobeat Optima, Bamboo, MIDI Sprout Kit, and a few others. Galvanometric measurement, impedance, capacitance, potential are the basis of most of the devices marketed for plant music. Here is an example of experiment with the device U1. Music of an oak tree is different if electrodes are put on the trunk or the leaves. Here, we listen to a slow music with the trunk because little water circulates in the tree bark. At the contrary, a faster music with the leaves, as more sap circulates, generating more electrical activity. So, a faster music with the leaves. Now, listen to the music from algae, Fucus serratus, in water. Note that the music So here, note that the music is the same for the algae and for the water containing the algae. The same music. But music stops when electrode is put in water that does not contain the algae. And music plays again when electrode is put in water that contains the algae. So, does it mean that the water is receiving an electrical signal or an information from the algae? Yes, it is possible because seawater is an excellent conductor of electric current. The last example, the plant-human communication device. It is an electronic artwork presented at the Tropic Aquarium in Martinique in collaboration with the artist Henri Tolliot. In the first version, the plant communicates through music and colored patterns. You can listen to the music. You see the plant. And you see the colored patterns. In the future, the plant will be able to communicate directly with a human equipped with an EEG headset. To go further, we want to make plants sing with lyrics in tune with their physiological state and their environment. For example, melody and song will be obtained from the plant's electrical activity, accompanied by an orchestra of violins, directed by fluctuations in wind speed, on a rhythm modulated by the intensity of the lighting. Indeed, this already exists, at least partially, with a tree that interacts, that talks, with the public in Dublin.
We've built an interface so people can talk to nature and talk to trees. We've taken sensors like temperature, humidity, soil moisture, soil pH, even the bioelectrical signals from the tree, feed them into an AI model that then translates these into human language so that we can have a back and forth conversation with nature.
Years ago, I shared the soil with many other tree roots. So many signals in the earth. Now there are fewer. Silence beneath me has grown.
So, we think that impedance spectrometry combined with artificial intelligence will make it possible to compose plant songs. Electrochemical impedance spectrometry is a high-performance technology developed by Cibres. We firstly used it for water analysis, then later for making plants talk. Listen to the first plant. It plays music when it is touched.
Harmonics produit une musique. Merci, Harmonics. Passons à la deuxième plante magique.
The second plant.
C'est une plante d'importation. Vous allez comprendre pourquoi. Ces feuilles. Please do not touch me. Mais oui, la vie parle en anglais.
The second plant says, "Do not touch me."
Please do not touch me. Demande de pas la boucher, on va la laisser tranquille. La troisième plante.
Now the third plant.
C'est hortense.
This third plant is equipped with external sensors. Light sensor,
Laissez-moi la lumière. Hortense manifeste son mécontentement.
the plant reacts.
Laissez-moi la lumière.
It needs light.
Hortense, encore t'embêter un tout petit peu. On va pas être long. C'est pour la science.
Now we work with another sensor, a temperature sensor. Of course, the plant says that it is too hot. I try to decrease the temperature.
Hortense ne se plaint plus. Écoute, merci Hortense pour ta collaboration. Une petite récompense alors peut-être pour...
And finally, we work with the humidity sensor. And plant is okay for with water, of course. So it was the first step with impedance spectrometry and external sensors. But now we think that with the new phytosensing advanced system developed by Prevost, combined with machine learning, we can do better than the tree that talks in Dublin. Indeed, Prevost offers a large panel of sensors measuring leaves, soil, biomass, environment parameters, and soon advanced sensors. And that means more data and therefore more precision. All the data can be processed by machine learning and sent to the pure data sound processing software. It is a modular synthesizer as well as a programming language to produce music and lyrics that tell the story of the plants in their ecosystem. To conclude this presentation, we have some requests for Prevost. Our needs concern phytochromes sensors that could record some variations in ion flux after exposure to light. Concerning cryptochromes sensors, it should be possible to measure the light emission after exposure to magnetic fields as described by IKEA and Woodward. A flash of light. We also need CO2 sensors that could measure breathing activity of the living organisms, especially symbiotic microorganisms in the soil. And finally, we need ultrasound sensors for the measurement of cavitation in xylem. We have seen that it is an indicator of water stress in tomato plant. But ultrasound sensors could also be used for measuring the bursting of oxygen bubbles on the surface of algae. It is a way to listen to the photosynthetic activity in real time. As you can listen. The sound of bubbles. One future application could be the prevention of algal blooms on the French Brittany coast and anywhere else. We are also making a proposal to improve the Prevost MU by adding a mini jack output. This would enable data to be transferred to other devices, such as the device U1, which has a mini jack input for plant music. Here is the result by using a spectrometer, life energy meter, coupled to the device U1 to obtain water music. We could do exactly the same with impedance spectrometer if the impedance spectrometer had a mini jack output. The last but not the least, we'd like to improve the CBRES-MU connection. We would like compatibility with BioExplorer software. We currently used the EEG Neurobit Optima and BioExplorer software to obtain brain music, but also plant music, as you can see in this short video. Here you can observe that the plant plays a piano solo when I touch the leaves. Moreover, the piano solo is automatically set at the same tonality as the orchestration. So, it can be considered as a real-time musical performance with the plant. BioExplorer is a very powerful software which would make the best of the CBRES-MU's capabilities. The same is possible with the BrainBray software, which has the advantage of being open source. And I think that with all these improvements, the CBRES-MU could easily become the best plant music device available on the market. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. It was really nice presentation. You can now go also close presentation mode, so we can a little bit discuss.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you again for referring to us. For very nice feedback. We will definitely think about this. Yeah, I have a few questions.
Okay.
First is you demonstrated mimosa experiments. There was 2 plants here. You touch one plant, and another plant show a reaction. How it's happened? Did you transfer them by a signal, by wires?
Okay. When I touch the carnivorous plant, it happens action potential. The device detects this action potential, and the device sends an electrical signal to mimosa.
Okay, it
And
stimulated the reaction.
Yes, it is stimulated directly. So just above a certain value, the signal is sent to mimosa.
Okay, I see.
We could do the same with your device. If you, with a phytoactuation, we could do the same.
Then okay, I understand. Music, plant playing music. I mean, plant do not play music in reality, but it seems plant generate a stimuli as some reaction, and that software recognize some patterns or action potential as the spike and just generate a music. That is the reason of music behind plants.
Yes, of course. plant do not play music.
Well,
But
like piano.
but the frequencies, the high frequencies are transduced in the device in frequencies that are audible for the human ear.
Okay.
And that's the secret. High frequencies are transduced, and so these frequencies give you a music at the end. But it is the mirror of the electrical activity of the plant.
Yeah.
But you can have a music with anything any living beings else.
Yeah. You said acoustic greenhouse. I mean, it's really nice. Do you mean as a specific greenhouse or just a normal greenhouse but with some speakers, some sensors?
No, it's a normal house, but it is equipped with loudspeakers, and the plants are equipped with sensor for detecting electrical activity, and there are some external sensor as temperature, light, etc. And all the parameters are combined, and it gives the not really the music in this case, but you could listen to sounds, and it is the ambience in the greenhouse.
Does it improve productivity of plants? I mean, make something better?
It improves the dynamism of the people who work in the house.
Okay, it stimulates people, not plants.
People are happy with that music. And so maybe they transmit their happiness to the plants, and they grow better.
It's good. I never think, well, it's not about plants, it's about people. Yeah, of course.
In our research project, the both will be studied, the effect on plants, but also the effect on people.
Yeah.
The both are linked.
Yeah,
really.
I see. Yeah. Just, final discussion, because there's a lot about plant intelligence and plant consciousness. Do you think it's the same or it is not the same?
No.
No.
To
Why?
my mind, it is not the same. In our studies, we can study plant intelligence only.
But the simplest form of consciousness? Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But you know that for a scientist, it is always very difficult to speak from consciousness. I gave you an example with the book, The Secret Life of Plants. It was really a great damage for the following researchers.
Yeah.
So, in my case, I cannot give you an answer with a great certitude on plant consciousness.
But yes. I mean, fully understand, yes. In robotics, there is a large discussion, for instance, thermostat. very simple. It's too hot, it's switch on, that air conditioning start on, a simplest thermostat. And the question is whether a thermostat is a robot. So very simplistic robot. It can do some actuation, it can sense environment. And the same question was about consciousness. Okay, what is a consciousness? Consciousness is properly, way of sensing environment and reflecting environment and reacting on some stimulus. Plants, they do this. They have excellent biochemistry. They can absolutely sensible to everything. And the question is, can we think about some simplistic form of consciousness even in this, this biochemical machinery? I don't know. But yeah. Thank you, Laurent. It's an excellent presentation. Many people are interested in human-plant interactions. We have a lot of contacts with artists. Yeah, they like this. Yeah, this attractive for people. So I think this sound is definitely something interesting. Also AI plus sound is also definitely something of interest. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Then probably see you next time in one of our activities. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye, sir. Thank you very much.